All right, let's talk about something for real, dude. Because I want to tell you about something crazy that I watched last night.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that's the end of the damn B segment, and now we're on to
We're just gonna yeah.
whatever the main
Whatever I'm talking about right now
is. Yeah.
Whatever Ben's talking about right now.
This is whatever Ben's talking about right now.
Brought to you by
Right now.
Right now. Okay. You're just like, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right. So, dude, you know what I watched all of last night? Even though I already told you this.
The Victoria's Secret one-way model show.
Was that on?
I don't know.
Oh, no, I didn't watch that.
Okay. That was just a guess. You said, do I know? And
yeah,
that was my
even
guess.
though you already know what I'm going to tell you because I already told you earlier.
Yeah, but I need to bring entertainment to our one viewer that we might have on this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm talking about you.
Shout out to you.
Thank you.
I watched all of Kevin Hart's show on Netflix.
What's it called?
It's called Kevin Hart Don't Fuck This Up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a mini series, documentary style reality show on Netflix. And it's so good. It
How
just
many
really
episodes?
wrapped me in. I'm not even going to lie. It's
You
6
watched the
episodes.
full thing, right?
I watched the whole thing. There's
In one sitting?
In one sitting. There's 6 half-hour episodes.
So what is that, 3 hours?
It's 3 hours total.
That's shorter than The Irishman.
Yeah, exactly. And you think about it, all of that could really have been condensed into one documentary movie, but they clipped it and put it on Netflix as individual episodes of one season of a show, even though it's really a self-contained thing. Here's my thing that I realized about it last night. This might take me a minute to articulate. I got to take a sip of coffee, honestly.
Sip it and dip it. I'm drinking High Life, the champagne of beers.
Yeah, I drank too much of that earlier, so I don't want to do that anymore. But I was watching this Kevin Hart show last night, and it's really I'm going to be honest, I was thoroughly entertained by it, but I did find it to just be incredibly superficial. It's very much Kevin Hart.
It's self-serving Kevin Hart.
But it's not, though, because it does talk a lot about his upbringing and his mom and the struggles he faced with his family. It is very real in that type of way. And they sort of juxtapose the ways that Kevin grew up to some of the situations he found himself when he was famous. And it was that storytelling part of it was really captivating and interesting because you get to learn a lot about Kevin's upbringing and everything. So that was really cool in the first half of the series. In the second half of the series, they sort of close it out with all of Kevin's controversy surrounding his homophobic tweets from 2008, which is why he didn't host the Oscars. That's what the main beef of the documentary series was about.
Does he go into... Sorry, I got cords wrapped on my feet. Does he go into context as to why he tweeted what he tweeted, or does it just he basically just says I was young and I said stupid stuff?
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, he kind of
I feel like we've all been young and said stupid stuff,
and that's basically how they frame it in the documentary. Is that it was kind of just oh, that was funny at the time. People were saying stuff like that at the time.
Saying stuff like that was super funny, especially in the 90s.
Here's the thing that's funny about it, though, and this is total spoiler alert, but you just got to know this straight up.
Break it down for me, baby.
Kevin Hart, his whole response was I already addressed this a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. And he really stood on that response, and everybody was like, Kevin, this isn't a good idea. You shouldn't do it like this. This is the way to do it. You're sounding really insensitive. Then he went on Ellen and was just yeah, I don't feel like I got to apologize for this.
Yeah, he's I said what I said, and I said I was sorry for it, and it's over.
And then that's basically,
him saying anyway.
And so when he had his chance to apologize or whatever for what he did, he just kept saying that I already addressed this, I'm not talking about it anymore, and made it sound like he was really taking a stand. He was I'm not going to let internet culture get to me. I'm going to start to change right here, and this is going to be it, because you can't just cancel people just with the snap of your fingers without having a greater context for who a person is, which is what I think the documentary series was about. Was about showing Kevin's life so that way you knew who he was. You know what I mean? You could relate with him more. At the end of the documentary, though, it's so funny because it ends with him going I realized I was wrong and I should have apologized. I had a chance to apologize and I didn't. So basically,
it was just a 3 hour long.
So it was basically a 3 hour long apology of him, like, yeah, pretty much. And I thought that was such a disappointing way to end it, because I was almost like,
yeah, it sounds like he gets you on his side really good.
Yeah, exactly. Like at that point,
he makes his case and he like stands for it. And it's like, all right, I believe in you now.
Right.
Like,
and
you said something and you believed in it. You said you're sorry. And
right, exactly. It's like however you feel about it, it just seemed like in the documentary series, he was really making the point, like, yeah, like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this culture like destroy me or whatever, like that. And then he was just like, yeah, but you know what, I am really sorry about that, which is like, that's cool. I don't want to be like, that's not cool he did that.
Apologized, but
it's just funny that like he wasn't more of like,
right, why did
he didn't take a stand with it and just be like, yeah, exactly,
to stick to it.
So at the end of the day, it just kind of felt like some really like rich people type problems at the end of the day. Even though they made a really good story, they had a big budget and a lot of people working on something to make a big story, basically, to do something like that. It just seemed like dude, honestly, this is going to be really conspiratorial of me.
Let's do it, man. We'd have Jimmy Fallon.
This is totally unfounded material, but like, I low key thought that they made the documentary they made that moment happen for the documentary.
Oh yeah, I wondered lately about controversies and what's manufactured and what's legit.
Because they show him in the documentary the day that he gets the email about the Oscars, that he got the job and everything.
Oh, so they were filming when this happened.
And then they had a bunch of YouTubers videos in the documentary talking about his old tweets and like dragging him, basically. So I'm like, wow, was this a PR stunt?
Research?
Right, exactly. Did people know to do something like this just to make it more dramatic and then have Kevin do all the stuff on purpose? Like, I just think it was very convenient that they had cameras around to document a bunch of different people's sides of the story to show Kevin's redemption. And the movie, the documentary series itself, is all about redemption and like overcoming a new purpose. And I'm like, wow, is Kevin Hart really like playing everybody? Like, did this really go down like that? Not saying unfounded, but you just got to wonder at a certain point. Like, they made a whole documentary series and that was the main beef of the ending of it.
And they had footage of the whole thing even before it happened.
Right.
So that's kind of like, unless he was like unless he had like a documentary crew, like he was following like Gary Vee advice and just had people documenting him.
Maybe it did kind of feel like that at some point.
Because like he does have his YouTube series that he's doing,
the
like
Laugh Out Loud Network.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
like I know he like there's a couple exercise shows he does or something that.
It's all on his own YouTube
like,
network.
Maybe he just has cameras rolling around him 24/7.
Maybe. Listen, again, that's totally unfounded controversy, but that did seem to be like the big takeaway of the whole thing, is that like Kevin Hart is like trying to redeem himself, and through all these different situations that they show in the show. Which that isn't the main one, but that's the one they kind of like build the main
controversy.
Yeah.
What are the other controversies?
Well, like last 2018, he like got extorted with a sex tape, and his wife found out about it.
Yeah, I do remember.
They talk about all of that, and
did they show the sex tape?
No.
Good for them.
They just show it, and this is what it looked like. Yeah. They just pull it out.
This is what he wouldn't let people extort him for. Because Netflix had the rights.
But they basically had like something going down like every episode or whatever. I don't know. It was really good though. Like I was super into it. And like if you kind of enjoy Kevin Hart's persona as like a really workaholic guy who's really successful, like
it's definitely like he'd be real intense. But maybe in a fun
really intense
way.
I don't know, man. He's
like if
you're
weird. Friends with him, it'd be fun. But if you're not friends with him, it'd be too intense.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, but yeah, it was very interesting. I just thought it was an interesting move for Netflix to like do something like this and like do something with Kevin Hart to look interesting like this. And they even made reference to the documentary that they were working on in the documentary. Like they were like, we're working on a documentary series right now. He's like pointing at the camera. He's like, oh, wow. We're doing it right now. This is happening. Like we got all this stuff going on. Anyway, take what you will from that.
Maybe they did manufacture it. I don't know.
But yeah, honestly, it sounds as silly as it sounds. I really like the Kevin Hart show on Netflix, but that's also because I'm a big fan of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, you are in that reality TV world a little bit.
If you like reality TV, it's a good one.
I'll tell you what I've been into recently.
Please.
I've been looking for some good documentaries. And
like the Kevin Hart documentary.
Well, not quite. Well, maybe a little pop culture documentary, but more like
pop culture documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
More documentary than following celebrities.
More real documentary.
Informative.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not trying to throw shade at the Kevin Hart documentary like it wasn't informative, but like.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But there's the series. I mean, let's be honest. Stand-up comedy is easy. I'm just kidding. No, there's a